Hi, my name's Tammy and welcome to College Credit Coach, where we're striving to help kids of any age earn college credit before ever taking a college course. Today I just want to give you some resources that have been very important to me and helpful in helping me understand the CLEP and the DSST process and how to select different curriculums, just answering all kinds of my questions as we've progressed through this journey of earning college credits before ever taking a college course. So my very first book that I ever got was called Credits Before College. I actually lived in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area at the time, and it was Sherry Frame who was the founder of the Credits Before College organization, and she has since retired, and Kristen Lackey has since taken over, which I talked to her just recently at the Minnesota Homeschool Convention, and she's very knowledgeable, super sweet, fun to talk to. But anyway, Sherry put on a workshop all about the information that's in this book, and Kristen continues to do that. So if you're in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area of Minnesota and you're able to go to one of her workshops, I highly recommend it. This book really was kind of been where it all started for me, if you want to say. I want to take an opportunity to just read to you some of the table of contents because it really is an all-inclusive book that really explains very well and in depth the whole process of how to take CLEPs and DSSTs, and then also how to earn college credit as 11th and 12th grader by taking some college courses and having the state of Minnesota pay for it. So chapter 1 talks about cost and completion facts. So the different costs that go into college and the completion facts of how many people actually complete college. Chapter 2 talks about credit by exam. So you talk about the college level exam program, or CLEP, and the DSST program. So those different tests that are available. Chapter 3, you're talking about earning college credits in high school. So this is where it turns and talks a little bit more now about like dual credit enrollment. And so you're actually taking college classes and earning credit that way, but the state is paying for it. And I'm gonna get to that, there's like 18 different states that is an option for in the United States. If you're in 11th or 12th grade, the state will pay some or all of the tuition for your children to take college classes. So I'll just give you a quick tidbit about my oldest son, Joshua. Took all the college level, all the CLEP and the DSST tests that he could to cover all his generals in his 7th through 10th grade years. And then 11th and 12th, he went to the local college here and he took all the courses he could to fulfill his biology degree. He just graduated high school this year, and now he has 3 courses left to finish his biology degree with a minor in chemistry. So if he didn't add that minor in chemistry, which I'm glad he did, and we had reasons why we did, he might have even graduated without 3 college credits left, or 3 classes left. But anyway, I'm just saying, with the CLEP and DSST tests, and then the 11th and 12th grade college courses, he's graduating high school with 3 classes left to earn his college degree with a minor in chemistry. Kind of exciting. So going on, chapter 4 talks about 5 steps to earning college credit and test taking tips, and the parent's role. And I remember at the workshop, she just talked about how important the parent's role is in all of this journey of CLEP and DSST and in the college, taking the exams. I feel like at times I have become, and I'm very happy with it, I kind of enjoy that, I have become my kids' administrator and secretary. Like, I do all the research about what curriculums for them to use, and then I lay out the timeline of how they should study, when they should take the tests, those kind of things. But that's fine, that's easy, especially if they can be earning a college degree in all these college credits. It's the least I can do, it's the easiest thing I can do. So moving on to chapter 5 is creating a high school plan. And I know I'm thankful for some of the comments I've been getting recently, and somebody asked me how I laid out my high school plan. And I'm gonna share that in a different video because I understand, the question. I've made some mistakes as we've gone, but I've learned some things too. So I wanna share that in a different video. Chapter 6 is defining your direction. So then it's moving on to expanding, in chapter 7, college degree options. So now you're moving towards helping your kids find a degree that would suit them, a career that would, that they would love. Then chapter 8 goes into transcripts and record keeping, which is also important. And chapter 9 is just testimonials in their own words. So this book itself has been a tremendous blessing to me. Credits Before College, highly recommend it. That is the book itself. on their website, Credits Before College, they also have, which I want to mention to you, they have the Environmental Science DSST study guide. So this is where I started, because after I went to the workshop that talked all about this book, I'm like, okay, well now where do I start and how do I understand this all? I'm a little slow processor and I just was slow to apply it all. So I thought, okay, I'm going to take this Environmental Science study guide and I'll buy the adjacent book. They tell you in this study guide what book to buy that they'll be going with. And so that's where I started. And then I felt like, okay, I'll make all my mistakes and learn all that I can from how she taught us how to study through this study guide with this book. We'll take the test and we'll just start from there and we'll learn. And we just started and we did, and it was great. This is where I've started all my kids since. So now I have 3 that have taken the Environmental Science DSST test and all passed. So that is just a highly recommended place I would recommend for anybody to start. The other study guide they have on the college credit course, or the Credits Before College website, and I'll link it down below too, is the Introduction to Psychology study guide. And here's the adjacent book. I loved this because as a Christian, I'm not so excited about all the psychology of the world, but to have a study guide that just told me what I needed to study and how my kids needed to study psychology. And this is an old-fashioned, if I could call it, textbook, but it's great graphics and just simple information, if you want to say. So presented very simply, very well. So I would highly recommend that. And then the last one they have is World Religions, and that's a DSST too. Most college degrees want you to have psychology, and so that's why we do it. And World Religions will fit in a general ed category somewhere usually. Now I would just suggest, looking through your general ed categories. But World Religions, DSST, and here's the adjacent book that she uses. So those, I would really tell you, if you had an opportunity to use and to look at her website, look at her website for the textbook, look at her website for the DSST and CLEP study guides that she has there that are available. It was extremely helpful for me, a great place for me to start, to get my feet wet, and then just progress along. And great information on her blogs. So for my next resource that I really highly recommend to you is called Homeschooling for College Credit. It's a book, and I check the book out at the library. I'm kind of like, before I buy a book, I usually like to check it out from the library and see if I can use it, if it'll be, if it'll be useful to me before I spend the money on it. I loved this book. I did have to take it back to the library, and since I haven't bought it, but I plan to do that. This book is another just resource full of great information. My very, very favorite thing with Homeschooling for College Credit is their website and their Facebook groups. So their website is what led me to their Facebook group. In their Facebook group, so they have a generic Facebook group called Homeschooling for College Credit. And I'll put this up here on the screen so you can see it. But then each state has their own private Facebook group, and you can just ask to join it. I highly recommend doing this. This is, I have joined the Minnesota Facebook group, and when you go on there, people will ask different questions about the PSEO, the dual enrollment opportunities at different colleges. People will ask what kind of curriculum you use for this test or for that test, if anybody's taken this test and what they would suggest to study. So it's just a great place. I guess it's like a forum, if you want to say, of just question and answer type things. So I'll go on there a lot of times if we're preparing for a test or something, and I'll be like, okay, what are people saying about this test, and what curriculum are people using about this test? So I don't necessarily even have to post a question. I can just go on there and research what others have said about it, and then, okay, this is what they say to study, and this is the best source for this curriculum, or whatever, and go with that. So it has been a great, tremendous blessing to me. So I would just highly recommend seeing if you could join your state's individual private Facebook group. Along with that, one other thing that this website and this book has provided is a list of the 18 different states that provide either a partial payment or full payment for tuition for 11th and 12th graders to take college courses and earn free college credits, basically, by taking college courses. So I'll show you this. So this is the dual enrollment state by state as far as what state offers has a program to pay for credits and what states don't, and then like if they'll what their state calls it, and if they pay for the full amount of tuition or just part of tuition. Some states will pay for tuition plus books and fees. Some only tuition. Some you'll have to pay for your own books or your own fees, but still you're earning college credit at a great discount. So the Homeschooling for College Credit book and website have been a tremendous blessing to me. They also talk about opportunities to earn college credit outside of the CLEP and DSST programs. That's something I haven't gotten into as much as maybe some others would, or maybe I will in the future. But it does give you great opportunities, and like the Sophia it will talk about some different colleges that let you bring in a lot of, transfer in a lot of credits, and then maybe you can finish your degree online through them. So just a lot of opportunities there that I highly recommend you look into and see if they would be a great fit for your kids. Okay, then the third resource that I could not leave out of this video would be Modern States Online. So Modern States Online is more to prepare you, it's more of a study tool to prepare you for a test. But if you miss this resource, you're missing just a whole bunch of information and a whole bunch of blessing. So Modern States Online, your children can go on to, set up an account, and then take all the videos and all the practice tests and quizzes, and that'll prepare you to take the test itself. They also will give you a voucher. Once you completed all their coursework, they'll give you a voucher to take that test for free, and to cover the administration fee for wherever you take your tests. So if you take your test online, they automatically cover the fee, but if you take your test in a learning center, you pay like the $25 or $30 fee, and then you get a receipt, and then you submit that receipt to them and they reimburse you for it. So it's a huge thing. You're getting a free test and you're getting your administration fee reimbursed. So that's for eight tests right now. So as of right now in the Modern States Online, you can get 8 tests for free. One thing I'm going to quickly mention right now, it's summertime, and a lot of times the CLEP tests go half price during the summer if you've taken one like since January. So we usually take some in May and June, and then maybe we have a little bit of a hangover and we're going to take one. But anyway, I think it's June 1st usually, they'll have summer specials where their CLEP tests are half off. So for me, I'm kind of so financially minded, I'll use the Modern States vouchers for all the regular tests, and then in the summer, if it's a 50% off, I'm going to use my own money because usually we're taking more than just 8 tests. So just something to think about, something to keep in mind. I'm always looking for the best deal. So that was all about Modern States Online. The very last one I want to mention to you, the book is called Launch: How to Get Your Kids Through College Debt-Free and Into Jobs They Love Afterwards. It's by Jeannie Borlowski. I also got this book at the library, read through it, found the information I needed, returned it. I would like to get a copy of it, but it's not as critical that I get a copy of it. It's some great information if your kids are going, okay, so like for my kids, they're getting their degree mostly by the time they graduate from high school. But if you're going on to graduate school, this is a great, great resource. It talks about different places, different ways to prepare yourself for college and for graduate school so that you get noticed, which is a great information, and we need this. My biggest thing that I took away from this was the scholarship opportunities that are available, and it gives you different websites that you could go to look for different scholarships in certain areas. Okay, so that is it. Those are my very, very favorite. I know there are only four resources, but I think they're the best resources that I've run into so far. I would love to hear from you guys down in the comments if you have resources that you recommend. I'm always kind of interested in this topic. I'd love to know more and learn more information. So if you've got a resource that you highly recommend, please leave it down in the comments. I'd love to look into it. Maybe I'll make a future video about a great resource that somebody recommended to me through the YouTube channel, and it'll be a lot of fun. So love to hear from you down in the comments. Tell me if you have a resource you recommend or if you've used any of these resources. And we will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.